what kind of father are you? What does it mean to be a father?
It's everything. It's given me another, I understand now, like, because you get a little bit bored. So they give you that, like, thought of youth, you know. It's everything. It's awesome. And it's not easy. It's commitment, it's work, it's loving them unconditional.
I think a good dad teaches kids, teaches them about life, teaches them and is honest about their own mistakes with their kids. Maybe not all of them early on, but shows them the right path. You know, is disciplined with them enough to say no. I think a good father, a good parent learns to say no and not be their best friend, but make them understand that this is who they are, this is their place, they're a kid right now, they have to learn these things, be successful in life, and then they will be. So if dad's involved with their life, teach them, I think that's very, very important.
What does it mean to be a good father?
What does it mean to be a good father? It's a good question. I'm trying to learn every day, but just trying to really spend time and be there for your kid. You know, always making time for your kid. To me, that's what really means. You know, being a good parent. You know, you do your best, but always try to make time for your kid and always listen to them and, you know, always give them their proper attention because it's obvious they look up to you. You know,
what we say is one thing, but how we live is really the instructional manual for our kids. And so it's just really important for our kids. You know, for me with my son, it's important that he sees how I treat his mother. It's important that he sees that, you know, how I treat other people. It's important that he sees how I communicate with people, how I handle conflict. Basically he's almost 4, so the next, let's say 14 years, just to make a magical number of 18, that's really the blueprint that he's going to have to live by, and that's what we have to do, and we have to be around to do that. So of course,
one child, she's 16 months, about to turn 17 months, and it's changed my life completely, so I love her to death. I want to set a good example for her. I want her to know, you know, think about good qualities in guys, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's definitely not just providing for her, you know. I'm trying to, I want to be her best friend when she gets older too, you know. I want her to be able to come to me with anything, any problems she has.
Watching my kids develop, watching them succeed, watching them do things that I never got to do, I get a real kick out of that. And do things that I did do, you know, some things that were happy times and stuff like that.
They know yours, they don't belong to you. You're not here to give them orders. No, because, okay, after 18 years old, do they qualify for their own experience? I don't know. I'm here to try my best to give them the best message, to give them the best information I can give to them through my experience. I'm not here to try to even make them better, because that's going to be their choice.
A good father doesn't say yes for everything. A good father has to understand, and sometimes even though it's hard, you have to put limit. You have to say no. I think they need to feel love. They need to feel that we care about them.
The thing that blows me away the most is being a dad. Having a baby was probably the best thing I've ever done. I mean, it's crazy to make another human, and you sit there and check out, oh my God, I do that. I sleep like that, or my wife sleeps like that's a crazy thing.
As long as you're there, and as long as you're there for them when they really need you the most, that's what a really father is. And being that good role model and always being there for their support, and like say like, I mean, you want your child to grow up to be almost just like you, and push and make them be somebody. I just hope basically the best for it, you know? Mm-hmm. That's all I want.
I strive to be a good role model, just as a martial artist, as a father. It's the same thing in my eyes, and again, leading by example and setting the path for others to follow. You know, but man, to be a father, it's interesting, man. It makes you definitely look at life and look at things in another frequency and the pattern, and being more, I'm gonna say, just being more in tune with other people's feelings as well.
Son was born when I was like 24, I believe, and so I was still a pretty immature guy at that time, and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And you know, one of the things I learned in the few years after that I had my daughter is that, you know, the main thing that they need is your time. If I could have done that more so, learned that more, knew that earlier, I think I would have enjoyed parenting even more. Just like each of these moments are each of these times with your kids are so precious, and that like they're never going to be this age again, and really enjoy them and spend the time with them. I try to do that now.
I think my daughter is a miracle because I was you know, they told me that I'll never be able to have a child, and it's really hard to explain. Once, I think for somebody that can have a child, and then it's already a miracle. You know, you're already like, that's unconditional love. Somebody that like me, that they said, you may not be able to have a child, and then out of nothing, like, yo, you know, I'm pregnant. I was like, oh my God. And you see the little person that looks just like you, and I never felt such a love. And I will be the type of father that I will teach her that what is right, what is wrong, and I'll try to give the best example as a man, as a, you know, as a husband, as a son, and as a father. You know, because I want her to see this is how a man is supposed to be, and so she'll be able to judge for herself. And I will be like her best friend. That's the type of father that I'll try to be, you know, and I will do my best.
A good father is someone that spends time with their kids and who is willing to dedicate their time, their lives, and every day into making sure that their kids have a better life than they did and have a good future ahead of them, and so they're set so that they understand what life is all about.
Good father would be someone who's always there for you, someone that's understanding, someone that's has your back regardless. You know, your protector, your provider. I think it's pretty much almost like your everything. I mean, because my dad, I mean, I think that's the way I am, the reason why I am, you know.
But I'm with them, not 24/7, but most of the day. And I love them. I give much love as possible. You know, I tell them all the time that how much I love.
I feel like I'm so lucky too. I feel like I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. Like, because right now where I'm at in my life, where I get to train and teach and stuff, and not only that, I'm teaching kids. So it's like I get to bring my daughter to work with me. You know what I mean? Like not that many people get to say that. You know what I mean? They get to bring their kid to work with them, and just being able to be flexible and be with them a lot more. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people work like 8 to 5, and they don't get to see their kids. You know what I mean? And by the time they get home, their kids are going to sleep and stuff like that. So I feel very fortunate that I get to, you know what I mean? They see their dad all the time, and we're really close. So it's cool. Like I said, my daughter's taking jiu-jitsu right now.
Not to push a child. I would never push a child to say, this is what you're going to do. You've got to let them develop. I mean, all 4 of my kids are homeschooled. And the reason I homeschool them is because my kids are going to focus their energy around their passions, not around what this system has told them they need to learn. It's going to be all about, you know, focusing on their passion. So
again, a good father is selfless. A good father is, you know, of course, loving and caring, and you know, wants to treat everybody the way they want to be treated. Well, that's what our best fighters do. Our best fighters train with their training partners the way they want to be trained with. You know, the ones that go out and try to amp it up and try to bully people and push people around the mat, and that's the opposite of what a father does. You know, so honestly, I think they go one and the same. A good training partner, a good trainer, a good fighter is the same as a good, I think, as a good father in a lot of respects. Not all respects, of course, but there are a lot of parallels to it.
I try to be a very fair father, and I try to realize the different people that my kids are and handle them accordingly. A million times a day, I kiss all my kids on the mouth, my boys, my girls, love them to death. They're all my babies, you know what I mean?
Being a father changed my life. I changed my habits, it changed what I did, it changed my thought process, it changed
my life is all now based towards making his better. And that's all I think about is I want to be near him, I want to be around him, I want to tell him he's awesome and be, I just want to be a dad.
But it's got to be nurturing. Anybody can provide physical things, but it's nurturing. I think with me, I was lucky enough that I had just enough nurturing. I'm that little crappy flower that grows in a crack on the sidewalk and somehow makes it, And I want more for my kids, I want them to be like a farm and somebody's watering them every day. Somebody's putting the chemicals to make them grow, to help them. And, I do better than my dad did, but that's still not enough for me yet.
I just think being a good parent is keeping your kids busy, whether maybe it's just school, academics, but being a good father, man, you gotta lead by example. That's it, I can't come up with anything else. Everything you do, they're sucking up.
Being a father is a lot of responsibility, because of, it's hard. I didn't have a good one, so I try to be the best father as I can be. It's a gift, you be able to be trusted with another life, and it's a trip. There's a lot of stuff involved in that. It's my kids is probably the most important thing I have in my life. It's the reason I wake up every morning and.
When I was a kid, my parents never held me back from doing anything that I ever wanted to do. They would always be behind me 100%. And I feel the same way with my son. If my son decides to go a certain path, then I'll be behind him 100% and I'll make sure that he is prepared 100% for whichever path he wants to take.
I try to be the same kind of father my dad was. My dad was, it's something, when I grew up, I had a lot of friends that their parents were divorced. It was something that I didn't know anything about. And I always thought it was cool. I'm like, these guys get 2 Christmases, they get this, they get that. And I kind of took that for granted until I got older and had my own kids, and I realized how great that is to, have a dad. My dad coached my football team. My dad kept coaching for 25 years, coaching youth football, and he was the guy that would help kids out that had bad homes, and would go pick up kids that their parents were assholes and drunks to get them to practice. And he was a good dad. He was always there for me. So when I had my kids, that's what I wanted to do. And
I support my kids in whatever they want to do. If they want to do it, if it's possible physically, financially, time-wise, possible to do it, I'm absolutely going to let them do it. I mean, my kids have done, anything from travel, in the United States with their grandparents or ourselves to, theater, to dancing, to football, to jiu-jitsu, to basketball. I mean, if they want to try it, I want to make sure that they have the best opportunity to do it. I think education is probably the most important thing to me and my wife and my family. And I think experiences, kids need to experience as much as they can.
A good father is someone that invests time in their kids. I do have, and I'm 24, I had my first at 19. I had 3 different kids with 3 different women. Not the way I planned it, but it happened. And got married young, divorced young. And I make sure I'm the glue that keeps all my kids together. And time, I pay child support, I do what I have to do financially, but time is creating memories. Time probably is the biggest thing. Everyone thinks it's weird that my kids are pretty much getting raised in an MMA gym, but these guys are amazing. A lot of these guys are no different than I am. They're stay-at-home dads who love their kids to the fullest, just like you. And I would rather have my kids around here than anywhere else.
Maybe I don't, because of my training and work, I don't get to spend a lot of time with my kids, but the time that I do spend, I try to be as personal as I can with them. I already don't believe in that old Latino way that if you don't do this, I'm gonna hit you or I'm gonna scream at you. I try to talk with them. My 2 oldest kids, I have a lot of kids. I got, 5 kids in Vegas. So, and then my daughter in California. And it's a big family. So it's kind of hard to, I gotta one day I spend a little bit more time with this one, other day. But they respect the way I talk with them because I reason with them. You know,
wrong. I do appreciate it. You know, I realize how lucky I am, and I'm talking about being successful because there's no such a thing as a recipe for being a father, dude. There isn't. You know, there's no way you're gonna find the right way to teach it or to raise a son. But I think again, it's not me giving to him. It's how much he gave me. You know, he gave me a lot. You know, he did so much to me. He made me be what I am. You know, he made me go after. He made me prove a point. He made me to push harder. He makes me to be in the gym and be training and show him, okay, man, you know what? I'm 50. Everything hurts, but I'm still doing. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Keep going. Support her, and if she likes that, and you don't like it, deal with it. You know, deal with it. Because you gotta be happy for what she likes. You know, your job is not make you happy, it's make her happy. Yeah. And that will make you happy.